Buy the book, yeah, and you will probably want to BUY when you've met the author on our program today, Bridge Street. The name of the book, Get Off Your Knees, by John Robinson, and he knows from where he speaks. John Robinson is a congenital amputee, and that means that from birth, John had no extension on either his arms or his legs. John, welcome to our program.
Hi, John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us. You are how tall then?
3'9".
And 40 years old.
40 years old.
My goodness.
But there's very little that you can't do other than cook. He admitted
Other than
that.
cook, I cannot cook.
But you golf.
I golf.
You drive.
Yes.
And you live a life that is so very, very much like the rest of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you do it?
I think I do it just by getting up every day and trying to be what I perceived as a happy, normal, tax-paying individual. I know that when other people look at me, they may see the obstacles that stand in front of me. And for a long time I did too growing up, but the reality is I really just want to be what I perceived as a happy, successful person. So I don't look at the obstacles as obstacles, but look at them as opportunities.
Well, before we talk about all the obstacles you have overcome, you also you're a full-time development director, maybe it's the wrong title, for the public television station in Albany, WMHT.
Correct.
That's your day job.
That's my day job.
An author is something you've recently become.
Yeah, my day job is to make sure that I help public broadcasting in the capital region and across New York State. But recently I've realized that there's an interest in more and more in how I've overcome some of these things. And I've avoided it for an awfully long time. But just over the past 3 years I'd kept a journal and wanted to go through some of these issues within myself, and in time realized that maybe this journal would have interest. And thankfully Syracuse University Press read it and liked it and have published it.
Yeah, you're telling your story in a book, and there's also a documentary
Yes.
about you.
Yes.
And it is also called, it's just like the book,
It's
right?
called Get Off Your Knees, and the documentary has been a wonderful experience. It is running on 96 markets across the country this month.
We're going to set up, if you would set up for us, please, a brief snip from this documentary about you and your clothing, how you taught yourself.
When I'm speaking publicly, I put my elbows together and ask the audience, can you put your elbows together and unbutton your pants? And of course that will get some laughter, but it also explains a little bit about what I have to go through.
All right, let's watch.
First thought was a snap. Instead of where your button is, put a snap on it. That was great, except I was, overweight and would bend over and the snap would pop. All right, so that's not going to work. A string. Well, I can't tie a string. Velcro. Velcro is a good idea, so we put a 1" by 1" piece of Velcro on either side of the fly, where the button is. Did that work? No, I had the same problem. Because once you bend over, 1" by 1" piece of Velcro isn't strong enough. So what did I do? We attached a 6" piece of Velcro along the waistband of the pants. And then the other end is still sewn where the button is. And you pull it through the button loop. It worked. It worked to the point that I was able to dress myself.
Wow. And it's just a small example of all the things that you kind of have to rethink in your life. Yeah.
John, so many people, and again, there are very few people, I imagine, in your precise position. Congenital amputees are rare.
Very rare.
And yet people who have fewer challenges than you've had in life, and we all know them, would say, I'm just going to go in a shell, I'm going to go in a hole, I'm not going to, and you've done just the opposite.
Yeah. I've had many appointments in business where the client has stopped and said, you're inspiring, how have you done this? And I avoided it for an awfully long time, but realized that people have questions, and we all have concerns, and we all have thoughts in our head that are stopping us from achieving whatever it is we want to achieve. And the more I talk about some of the things that I've overcome, if people perceive them as obstacles and I can prove that I've overcome them, then it makes everybody feel better, and we can all get over whatever it is that is bothering us at that moment.
I would say so.
You are traveling around the country too.
Yep.
Yeah, tell me about that. People are asking for you to come and share your story.
Yeah,
right?
there seems to be school groups, both universities and school-age children, disability groups around the country, and businesses that have sales interests, motivational reasons. I am speaking from Rhode Island to Phoenix, Arizona here in the next 6 weeks, and any points in between. So it's been great to meet people across the country and learn their stories.
And how is the react? What do people say to you afterwards when they come up and talk? I'm assuming they're inspired, but beyond that, what kind of questions do they have?
They have a lot of the same questions everybody else has. How do you get dressed? How do you drive? How do you golf? Are you hitting the ball far enough? No. But they also tell their stories. And I've been awfully inspired about individuals that'll come up and explain their parent that's an amputee from war, or their child has autism, or whatever it is that they perceive as something that they're trying to get through. And I certainly want to share and help as much as I can.
I mean, you're hitting that golf ball, and you tell us 125 yards straight?
Yeah. Yeah. The key is be straight.
With normal clubs, with regular full-size clubs.
Regular full-size clubs, yep.
Long stand. You stand at some distance from the ball.
Yeah, it takes a little practice on making sure you stand the right distance away from it. But as long as I tee it up right, I'm going to be 125 yards down the fairway.
All right, and there's an opportunity for everybody to meet you. We want to talk about the book signing today. Tell us about that.
Today the book signing is at Newhouse 3 up at Syracuse University at 4 p.m. We get the opportunity to talk a little bit, explain a little bit about some of these obstacles, and to talk specifically about the book.
And you're hanging around town a little bit, right?
Hanging around town.
Be back on Friday?
Be back on Friday in DeWitt at Barnes & Noble.
At 7 o'clock. Well, I'll tell you what, if you've got some time free either today or next Friday, this is the book. You'll probably will buy it once you've met John Robinson. Get Off Your Knees, a story of faith, courage, and determination. I would say amen to that. A lot of people will say, I guess I won't be feeling sorry for myself anymore because John Robinson has overcome so much. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Great to meet you.
Thank you for being on Bridge Street.
Thank you.
And safe travels around the country promoting what could end up being a bestseller. Who knows?
It should be.
Thank you, John, on Bridge Street for joining us. We'll be back with more of our program right after this.